a closet with walled cities, past lives in boxes. Music absorbed till it seeped from my skin. Can't stand to hear it. Means more to me than photographs. Pictures of backyard and northern sunsets are all that exist in my mind. Freshly cut lines and daytime sprinklers, spider webs on a grey wooden fence. I remember the comedian.
Hello and welcome to Bardon Mill on a cold, wet Northumberland day. It's absolutely chucking it down with rain, hence the umbrella. And today we're going to do section 7 of the walk. Behind me is the Anandrao Pottery. It was once a 17th century woolen mill. In 1878 it was converted into a pottery by Robert Errington and William Ray. Initially it produced drainage pipes, but today Errington Ray is the only commercially licensed pottery in the UK that produces salt glazed pottery. Across the road's the Bowes Hotel, where we finished with a pint after the end of the last section. And Borden Mill boasts a village store and tea room. Today, Neil's brought a friend.
This is Bonnie Stardust. That's the stage name. The real name is Boggins.
This is Corn Mill Cottage. Used to be an old corn mill here, obviously, hence the name. The corn mill, according to the old maps, was still in use in the 1950s. Not exactly sure when it actually closed. Cola. This here is Borden Mill Station. It was opened in 1838. Heading back across the railway, back to the way we came last time, before we pick up the path again. Now we're heading back over the River Tyne, River South Tyne that is. This bridge was built in 1883, this footbridge. Tyne's starting to swell a little today. It truly is a wet day today. And we're back following the River Tyne Trail as well for the Daft as a Brush Cancer Patient Care Walk. Good cause, worth checking out. I'll put a link below if I can find one. We're going to the right this time. Last time we came from that direction. Behind me is Willimoteswick Castle. It's more a fortified manor house or fortified farm than a true castle. It's said to date to the 12th century, but the current gatehouse is 16th century in origin. It is historically the seat of the Ridley family and reputed to be the birthplace of Bishop Ridley. There's another 2 towers on the other side, but you can see it as you approach, but I can't get an angle to film them, unfortunately. Bishop Ridley was one of the Oxford martyrs. His name was Nicholas Ridley and he was born in 1500. In 1550 he became the only bishop ever to hold the title the Bishop of London and Westminster. In 1553 he signed the letters of patent giving the English throne to Lady Jane Grey and preached that Mary and Elizabeth were illegitimate. Sadly for Ridley, Mary won the throne and Jane was executed along with her supporters. Ridley was tried for heresy and burned at the stake on 16th of October 1555 in Oxford. He's now considered one of the Church of England's martyrs. Right, Bonnie's going to show off how to climb a sty as a dog.
Come on, Bon. Come on in. Come on.
There we go.
Wow.
Skills. It's a bit of a mud bath on this one. Definitely need boots or wellies. Neil's got wellies, he should be alright. I'm wearing boots. I'll not be able to get through there even with boots. I'll have to go around a bit.
I haven't got the dog to pull me out. Oh man, it was up to there.
Yeah, you were lucky. Bit of a mud bath this walk. We've got a problem up ahead. We've got cows, probably with calves, up ahead blocking the path. And we've got the dog. So we have to try and decide how we're going to get across this field. Neil's going to see what's like on that side of the fence. It looks as though it's going to be really hard going. The alternative is what we go around the top of the hill. They're making an awful lot of noise over there. We're not even close. Yeah, there's cows with calves and some young bullocks. Friesians as well. So we've crossed the fence in any case because we've got the dog. That's what they'll be looking at. They'll be worried about the dog. Although this side of the fence is quite rough going with a big drop into the Tyne there. If you fall down there, you better be a good swimmer. Maybe I'll get the steepness on here. It's hard going. There's a live trap there. What they're looking to try and catch. Hopefully grey squirrels. That was a bit of an adventure.
Oh my word, was it not? So we came to a field and there was cows right where we need to walk, like all the way along. We had the dog and I was like pretty scared, to be honest, to lose the dog and get charged because I'm pretty terrified of cows. So we took like an alternative route found by like a riverbank, but it was really steep and it was, we've been there for about half an hour. It was like something out of Lord of the Rings, the boggy marshes or the dead marshes, but it was really good. I recommend it.
Aye, we'll put some time on there, like. And then I forgot to mention, if you had seen the opening, you would have noticed that the tour has changed. We've decided to change the route. Originally we would have gone from Bardon Mill straight up to Vindolanda and we would have missed out the west of the county. However, by doing this route we add an extra 5 castles as points of interest and we take the walk to the west of the county, which is something that was bothering me for a while. So now that problem's been solved. Sad ruins of a walled garden. This here is Unthank Hall. It was originally built in the 16th century, incorporating an old appeal tower. It was considerably altered in the 19th century and it has a rival claim as the birthplace of Bishop Ridley. There's some stunning houses on this walk. We've just crossed the A69 there. That's a bit of a dangerous road to cross, so be careful if you're coming this way. This is Haltwhistle viaduct, also known as the Alston Arches. They were completed in 1851 and opened in 1852. They connected Haltwhistle to Alston on a branch line until 1976 when it closed.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
this is good.
What a photograph that would be.
Oh yes.
Welcome to Haltwhistle. The town makes a claim as being the centre of Britain. There are competing claims elsewhere based on different methods of calculating the centre. Haltwhistle's claim is based on being the midpoint of the north-south axes and approximately the midpoint between the other axes on the points of the compass. You turn your back for 5 seconds and Neil goes into the pub.
Right, it's this guy that's
Alright.
he filmed.
You alright? Here's Mr. George's Museum of Time. Sadly, closed. And it's open at times. There are several bastilles in Haltwhistle, as the town was once a battleground between the Ridleys and Armstrongs during the 16th century. Haltwhistle has the highest number of surviving bastilles in England. The Holy Cross Church in Haltwhistle is 13th century in origin and had restoration work done in the 19th century. I'll leave Haltwhistle from this footbridge. There's a view of the South Tyne. You can miss out the centre of Haltwhistle if you wanted to and just come straight onto the footbridge. Behind me is the driveway to Belster Castle. It's likely that there was once a Motte and Bailey castle on this site. A tower was added in the 14th century and this was converted into a castellated house in the 17th century. There was considerable alterations made in the 19th century and the property was damaged by fire in the early 20th century. It's currently owned by the National Trust, but unfortunately Belster Castle private property. Belster Castle features in one of the legends of Northumberland. During the time of the wars between England and Scotland, a travelling minstrel visited the castle. The Baron of the castle let the minstrel in and give him lodgings and food in return for entertainment, as was the custom of the day. However, as the drink flowed, the Baron started becoming suspicious of the minstrel and started staring at him, wondering whether he was just a Scottish spy or a Scottish assassin. The minstrel was conscious of the Baron staring at him and started to misplay, which added suspicion to the Baron. Eventually the minstrel decided to retire and retired to his room and was shown where it was. The Barons couldn't sleep at night thinking about the suspicious minstrel, and he went to the room in order to confront him. And when he opened the door, he found the minstrel was gone. This confirmed the Baron's suspicions. So he set off his hounds, and his hounds tracked down the minstrel, found him in a hole next to the Tyne, cowering. The hounds tore the minstrel apart and left him for dead. The next day, when the Baron sobered up, he realised what he had done and his mistake. So he took the minstrel and buried him at the castle. Ever since, there's been a ghost of a grey figure playing instruments near the castle. That's an impressive barn. Look at that door. Very impressive. Okay, we're beginning to lose the light now. Probably got about 20 minutes left of daylight if we're lucky, and we've dropped down onto the old railway line that went from Haltwhistle to Alston, and we just follow this line basically all the way to the car. This time it's not my fault, Phil, it's his fault.
I've got to have my Starbucks in the morning and my baked potato with tuna in the afternoon. Sorry about that.
So Neil, how did you find that walk?
Yeah, I found it very refreshing, really good. So we're here at the end of the walk. It's about, what, 5 o'clock? Feels like midnight. We're wet, we're dirty, but we've had a great time. And we're in the Wallace Arms having a pint of river catcher with the fire on. I'm not sure if you can see the fire. The dog's loving it. Probably the best part is, well, this pub and avoiding the cows in the field. I thought that was fantastic. It really was. So I highly recommend it.
So we're at the Wallace Arms after a hard walk. Well, I'm saying hard, actually it was quite easy to walk. It was wet, it never lifted the rain. It was like rain and drizzle all day. The weather forecast was wrong on that regard because it was supposed to get fine in the afternoon. A large part of this walk was on tarmac. There was quite a bit of mud as well, so you have to wear boots for it. But other than that, it was an okay walk. It was a lot easier than the last sections. Not quite as much to see as the other sections, but still quite a good section. A couple of castles and everything else was quite fine, really. If you like the walk, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below and hit the subscribe button for the next adventure, and share with your friends on social media, and catch you on the next one.